Platoon, fall in. I'm a Joe. He's a Jarhead. Welcome to the show.
Fall in!
Already said that. God dang, Marines are slow.
You didn't say that. You whispered it to it like your sweet love. Fall in. That's how the army says fall in. Come on, guys. Everybody gather up. Fall in! Say it like a man.
It's because Marines are deaf.
Yeah. Joe and Jarhead Show, we like to start off with the devotional. We're going to start off with the devotional. Today's devotional comes from Saul, out of the book of Samuel. Saul was the first king, but he was not the greatest king. He was kind of a bum. He wasn't the greatest guy. But he was the first chosen king. He was anointed. God said, if you guys really want a king, that's the guy. So they picked him.
And He's the least bad option.
Not many options, but they picked him. And when he first started, he did great. He got rid of the Philistines, got rid of the Amalekites, Amalekites, a lot of the ites. He got rid of them. And so when he first got anointed, there was a lot of people who were like, who is this guy? We don't like him. They actually turned their backs on him and they walked away. But when he started winning all these battles, people were like, whoa, we love this guy.
Everybody loves a winner, right?
Exactly. So, and after one of the battles, Saul said this. He said, "There shall not a man be put to death this day, for today the Lord hath wrought salvation in Israel." And I love this for two reasons, because everybody was screaming to kill everybody that turned their backs on Saul, that didn't support him, that walked away from him. And so they say, string him up, hang him up. And he said, no, we're not going to do that. Today is God's day. He saved us. And that's the other thing I like about this, is that he gave recognition to God. That's what we need to do in our lives, people. Recognize God for what he's doing for us.
You know, if only Saul had kept up that practice, I think he would have turned out a lot better.
He might have done. Nope.
This week in history. So June 22nd, 1788, the Constitution was finally ratified. So, as you know, at the end of the revolution, it was like, oh, revolution's done, we're a country now.
Yeah.
There was crazy infighting between the states. There was, states were starting to talk about going to war with each other. Like, we just finished fighting Britain. Can we just chill for a sec? So Washington, being the leader he was, he put his presence behind the Constitution and forming one, and it still took a long time. When the final draft came out, 5 states signed on. It was Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Connecticut signed on immediately. Massachusetts
really?
Didn't want to sign because they felt the federal government had too much power.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how times have changed. The People's Republic of Taxachusetts wanted more power to the people. All right. They eventually signed on after a compromise was made, and after them followed a few more states until New Hampshire was the 9th state. They needed 9 out of 13 majority to ratify, and they got that on June 22nd, 1788.
Constitution.
June 21st. Sorry, my bad.
Wow. That's awesome.
It was.
Long time ago.
Right.
Who were the other states that didn't sign on? Who were those pogues? What's your problem?
Right. Well, actually, Rhode Island was the last one to sign in 1790 because they didn't like slavery.
Wow.
And they didn't like federal government having control of currency.
Wow.
Oh, how times have changed, Rhode Island.
I don't understand how we still... Never mind. We're still struggling with something from 200 years ago, really? True. Interesting. Okay, current events. Tariffs. Again, I know that we already talked about this.
You and your tariffs.
When the mainstream media talks about tariffs, all they're giving you is the black and white. Yes, Trump said tariffs. He's tariffing stuff. He's putting taxes on stuff coming in the country. And then what the mainstream media likes to do is they get somebody from the left side, somebody the right side, and they just debate it for an hour. And that's why people hate the news. That's why we're sick of it.
They really don't. They just shout at each other.
Right? It's so obnoxious.
Tell us what's everybody.
Going on. So Joe and the Jarhead did a little bit of research. We dug into it. So the EU, the European Union, right? So a whole group of countries over there on the continent of Europe has banded together, and they're now going to tariff the United States back, right? Retaliation for us tariffing them. But these guys were freaking genius about what they did. Okay, they've got a couple products that they chose to put tariffs on. The 2 big ones that, if you do your research, shows you just how brilliant they are. First one is bourbon whiskey. Mainly manufactured here in the United States in the state of Kentucky.
Kentucky as in Mitch McConnell?
Mitch
Kentucky?
McConnell, people. Senator Mitch McConnell. He is a Senate Majority Leader. Why is that a big deal? Because he has weekly meetings with the president. He is always with the president, right? When he is speaking, he speaks for the entire Senate. So he has the voice, he has the ear of the president. And so when his people are going to go running to him and be like, we're losing jobs, we're losing money because we can't sell any more whiskey, Mitch McConnell has to go to the president. Genius. The second thing that they tariffed, well, they tariffed a lot of things, but the second one that was genius, orange juice. Where's orange juice come from mainly?
Florida.
Florida is a big deal when it comes to
Can't win the
politics.
presidency without Florida.
Most of the time, whoever wins Florida is going to win the presidency seat. Big swing state, big deal. So when the people of Florida start squawking because their orange juice is going to go up and they start losing jobs or they start losing wages, yeah, the president's going to hear about that and he can't have that. He has to have Florida. So tariffs are a big deal. It's not just the left and the right talking about these and everybody pointing fingers at Trump. This is a big deal. With the European Union doing this, you got to connect the dots and see how it's going to be a big deal.
There are a lot of layers to that onion.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Which they'll probably tariff next.
Onions. You can go ahead. Nobody likes onions. So, all right. Anti-cops. What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, California, you still has the dome. Like, you need to get treatment for that. You just can't seem to shake it. I mean, I understand that thanks to Camp Pendleton and 29 Palms, you have a disproportionate number of Marines in your state.
Hoorah!
Forces down the overall IQ, but do something. Seriously. Y'all lost your minds. So, California Bill 931 wants to redefine what is required for use of lethal force by police and change the definition or the deciding factor from reasonable person standard to necessary.
Yeah. What a joke.
So would a reasonable cop have shot someone who was like 4 times his size and wasted on drugs? Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Was it necessary? Did you have to do that? Couldn't you have like asked him? Did you ask him politely to stop? Did you say taser, 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 and then try to do that? No, you just shot him. Okay, well, I don't think that was necessary.
Yeah. And this is just another way to come look at the situation after the fact and just beat up our cops, right? So instead of saying
Because
was it
California doesn't do
reasonable?
that enough already.
Yeah, right. So one more reason to go beat up the people who are protecting you. They can say, "Oh, it wasn't necessary," so nope, now you're in big trouble.
Yep.
And there go your cops. There goes your support. Horrible thing to do. It's not okay.
Nope.
And it's the government doing this. California, we love you. I was stationed there for 8 years.
That answers so many questions I've had
Really?
about why California just went off the frickin' deep end. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. you were going to talk about
We love
ferries
you,
or something?
No.
No?
Yes.
Ferries?
Ferry incident. Okay, so this is what bothers me. Almost 200 people died in Indonesia just a couple days ago. Did you guys hear about this? Was it on the news? Nope. Of course it wasn't.
Our production is assistants are back one on.
Yeah, what? Yeah. Who, what now? I've heard about Trump's tweets on the news. That's
Absolutely.
about it. That's all we're getting. So in Indonesia, there's a ferry. It's in a little, so Indonesia is a big group of islands, right? And there's this island called Sumatra, and on this island, it has a little lake called Lake Tabo. And there's a ferry that goes from one side of the lake to the other, and they were having a big holiday, they were celebrating, and this ferry, it's a wooden ferry, only holds about 30 people. But it's a big celebration, so a lot of people got on it, and what happened? It sank. 200 people drowned, nearly 200. They don't have an exact count. But because it was a big holiday, and everybody was out celebrating, they don't know who was on the ferry and who wasn't. They weren't handing out tickets. So a bunch of people, a bunch of families are just missing loved ones, family members. They don't know who. This is a big deal to us. We need to know what's going on in the world because situations like this happen and we can learn from this, right?
But you're not going to hear it from a mainstream news outlet because everyone is so spun up about U.S. politics that they don't cover anything else. It's a big deal. That's like a jetliner going down.
It's a big deal. 200 people in Indonesia died. But that's probably why we don't care about it, right? Third world country, oh, why do we care about that? We're more worried about Trump separating babies from families. That's not really what's happening.
I know.
Dig into that. Yeah, do a couple minutes of research. We covered that for you last time. But this is why we can't trust the mainstream media. That's why you trust the Joe and the Jarhead to get the news for you. This is a big deal. We need to learn from stuff like this. And we need to be there for them in this time.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's people grieving. That's
Yep.
something that should give us a moment of pause.
And a lot of people that don't know, that we have full-time aircraft carriers dedicated for incidents just like this.
Just for humanitarian missions.
Yep. And hopefully we'll send one out there, to go help those people. Pick
Here's
them up.
hoping.
Yeah, we hope so. Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
Soros again? Really?
Soros again.
Soros.
Yeah, so if you don't know who George Soros is, you're probably a Marine.
Hang on, so use his full name. George Lucifer Soros.
Is that what the L stood for? The guy's the Antichrist. He really is.
Yes.
He is absolutely, unquestionably evil. He is a man who manipulates currencies to enrich himself and collapse governments. He's a big one world government kind of guy, open borders kind of guy. In fact, that's the name of his foundation. Or, isn't it?
No, it's Open Foundation.
Or Open Society Foundation.
Yes.
Same thing, same goal.
His nickname is the man who broke the Bank of England.
Yeah.
That's
which he
what
did.
he's known for.
He manipulated currency to bankrupt the Bank of England.
$1 billion in a day is what he did there.
Yep.
Broke an entire bank, an entire country, but who cares? Because he made $1 billion
Right.
in one day.
Anyway, he is an American billionaire from the country of Hungary. He was originally Hungarian, immigrated to the United States, and now Hungary has passed what they call the Stop Soros law. Like, there's nothing like just sticking it to him. Like, there's no beating around the bush. Like, we hate you. You're from here, and we're so anti-you.
Go Hungary.
Yes, seriously. And
Can we get one of them? Can we get one of them Stop Soros laws?
You don't
Sign
look like
us
you
up.
go Hungary very often.
Hey, I said, hey. Somebody's talking to you.
I think you were, actually. So the Hungarian president, who is a big anti-immigration guy, he's one of the guys that said, like, why are we allowing all these migrants from the Middle East free passage into the European Union? We need to, stop them and assess them and find out, like, who's here for refugee status, who's just here to cause trouble, and who's just looking for work. And Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, she's like, no, let everybody in. We'll take everybody.
Right.
And the fact that they have to go through your country, Hungary, is not our problem. Except it is. So they actually passed a law, the anti-Soros law, to make it a crime to give certain kinds of assistance to illegal immigrants. And I gotta be honest, I think that's freaking beautiful. I think that's an awesome thing. Because it's a country in the European Union, which is such an overbearing organization, standing up to the larger organization and saying, like, no, we're going to retain at least this much of our sovereignty. And B, because it's given the shaft to George Soros. I can't get enough of that.
Yeah, and that's awesome by itself, because a lot of people, you look at George Soros and you're automatically intimidated because he does use his massive wealth to manipulate countries, to manipulate currency. So a lot of these smaller countries like Hungary usually just bend to his will.
It's got 10 million people. It's about the size of Ohio.
And he literally has poured millions of dollars into trying to force Hungary to his will, to do it his way. And they come out and they said, no. Anti-Soros.
Yeah, we're so anti this policy. We're going to come out with a bill with your name on it.
We need to come out with a policy for like an anti-Joe. Anti-army. Shh, stop army. Stop army week. Just
Yeah, we could do that, except no, because
things would be a lot better in America.
without the Marine Corps, I agree.
And dislikes. What I like and what I dislike is what just happened in Canada. Have you guys heard about this? Legalization of marijuana in Canada? Nope.
Nope.
You know why you didn't hear about it? Because Trump didn't tweet about it.
I don't know if you're
Big-
in Washington, you probably heard of it.
Yeah. Big deal, folks, because this is the first country out of the G7, so one of the biggest countries to legalize, an entire nation to legalize marijuana. All right, here in America.
For recreational use.
Yeah, not for medical use.
Not for
Here in America, we've had a couple states here and there that have legalized it for recreational use, but not the whole nation, right? But Canada, the entire nation, just did it, passed it for recreational use. I like this and I dislike it. I dislike drug abuse, period. I don't support tobacco, I don't support drugs, I don't support abusing alcohol, none of that. I don't support anybody putting anything in their bodies that inhibits their state of mind, right? That's going to make you less of a person. Now, people are going to bring up arguments, oh, a glass of wine's full of antioxidants, it's good for you. You know what? I agree, that is good for you, but I don't believe that the average person out there is drinking wine for the antioxidants.
No.
Nice try. Same thing with marijuana.
Especially you millennials.
Nah. Oh, this guy.
It's got loads of antioxidants. That's why I drink it by the box. I have zero oxidants anywhere in my body.
Yeah, these millennials are all the people you're enlisting in your army. As fab waivers, we call them. So this entire country legalized marijuana. I am on board with legalizing the marijuana because I believe that the pros outweigh the cons. There is a lot of cons, right? Because a lot of people start using it, they're going to get stoned, they're going to get a lot of Cheetos, obesity is going to go up, that kind of stuff. But a lot of crime is going to go away because there's a lot of crime involved just in marijuana. Think of all the people that get arrested and all the time and money that your taxes are going into just for these recreational stoneheads, right? That are no worse off than your drunk sitting at home getting drunk. They want to sit at their home, get stoned and get drunk. I don't care. I don't want the government coming into our homes and saying you can't do that. All right? If we want to stop that as a people, that should be up to the people, to the Christians, to Christ's disciples stepping up and setting the example to do that. That shouldn't be the government stepping in. So I'm on board with legalizing it as a nation because I don't want the government overreaching. We learned that lesson before with prohibition, right?
Yes.
Yes. Remember America put an amendment out there, said no more alcohol. Woo-wee, that was a bad idea. Created a lot of crime. Created a lot of deaths. A lot of homicides.
Yes, but at the same time, I can see the other side of it where a national law saying all 50 states have to legalize marijuana. I've never been a big fan of national level policy. I think it should remain the choice of each individual state whether or not they want to do this.
Okay. So this doesn't happen very often. Not very often do the Army and the Marine Corps play nice together, but right here in this little segment we are, because I agree.
For this microcosm of life.
Yep, I will actually agree with Joe. Probably won't happen again. And
Mark this day on your calendars.
I got a little bile coming up into my mouth having to do this, but wow,
okay.
Yes, I agree. Yep. If the states want to do it, if the people in that state want to do it, great. Go ahead. You do you.
Sweet.
Yep. What's your like and dislike?
My like and dislike, so it's an issue that I've become more and more familiar with over the last couple months. Volunteer organizations exist to help people, ostensibly. We have volunteer organizations at my church, and the coordination between them is not where it needs to be. All right? If you are a volunteer organization, especially one dealing with kids like Scouts, there needs to be the emphasis on the kids. You need to set aside yourself and you know your agenda and set the example for the kids.
Yeah, you know what the difference between the Army and the Boy Scouts is? Is that the Boy Scouts have adult leaders. Right?
That is true.
Army just has kids.
They're
So when
grown-up
you say-
kids.
Yeah, all the emphasis is on kids. Yeah, Army's full of kids.
Although the Boy Scouts do have part of their Ranger Creed in there.
Do they really?
They really do.
That's cool.
Yeah. But
Maybe that's why they have so many problems.
maybe so. But I hate you so bad. But
You're so welcome.
no, I'm not. And neither are you. You're not welcome in here anymore. In fact, get out.
Nope, you don't mean
Nah,
that.
I don't. But if you're part of a volunteer organization, especially one that's there to help kids, you need to, when you enter the room to do your stuff, leave your ego outside. If you are planning, if you are trying to set aside events or set up events that are going to help kids, leave your personal agenda out of it. You are there as a volunteer to help others. And if that's the example you're setting for those kids, probably want to do something else with your time. If you're a volunteer, be a volunteer. If you don't like that, if you can't set yourself aside long enough to help others, volunteering probably isn't for you. I'm just saying.
And when you volunteer, you got to remember who your audience is, especially when you're doing something with kids, right? Whether it's Scouts or coaching a little league sport of some type, you got to remember who your audience is. You got to leave your mouth and your foul language and your biased stuff. It's all got to stay at home, right? You can't be bringing your politics to your little league sport or to Scouts. Leave that at home.
That is not your function there.
Yep.
You're there for the kids.
It drives me crazy when you see these high school coaches or band teachers running their mouths, talking about politics at practice or dropping the F-bomb because they think that's the proper motivation these kids need.
Correct.
That is so horrible. Not the right way to do it, guys.
Oh, you were wrong.
I'm
Marine
wrong?
Corps and Army did agree. Again. That's twice in one episode. I agree with what he says.
Interesting.
Is
You
there-
will always agree with what I say.
Is there something in
The
the
Marines
water?
are never wrong. Get used to it.
Wow. Wow.
See? I'm right again.
Okay, can you check your ego at this door? I mean, I know we're not a volunteer organization.
Jarhead, no ego will ever be left. Complete package. You'll get used to it. It's all right. We're going to talk about a hero. We have a hero today, and we love this guy. He's a
Yes.
state trooper out of the state of Indiana.
Indiana.
Sergeant Stephen Wills. Oh my gosh, I love you. So he pulled somebody over, not heroic in itself, but the person he pulled over was in the fast lane going under the speed limit.
Yes.
This is a pet peeve.
I mean, go
of
figure
America
this happened in the home
whole.
state of the Indianapolis 500.
Yes.
That just adds an
good
extra
point.
degree of delicious to
right?
this story.
Yes. So, right, this is a pet peeve of every American. You can't sit in the fast lane and not go the speed limit. People. Oh my goodness. So this guy, he legit pulled him over. I don't know if he got a ticket. The story didn't say, but
not only did he pull him over, then he goes back to his cruiser and gets on social media to talk about it.
yes,
I love this man.
that's why you're my hero right there.
Absolutely.
Yep, you did a good thing and you bragged about
Absolutely.
it. You're awesome. And then everybody else started like, oh yeah, we love you. Come into my state and do that.
Yes.
We definitely need it here in our state for sure.
Absolutely.
These guys hanging out in the fast lane think they own it. Move over. Stop driving in the fast lane if you're going on the speed limit.
Correct.
That is not the way to do it.
Get out of the slow lane if you're not going to go the speed limit.
Right? Okay, let's talk about a review.
Let's review.
AGT is back on. America's Got Talent.
We do. We really do.
We do what?
Have talent.
Oh, well, we have talent. I'm not sure about you.
Well,
I don't know what the Army's
We-
talent is besides maybe running away from the fight. There's your talent. Figured it out. It really is.
infantrymen, artillerymen, never even sees the enemy. Keeps a train featured between him and the people he's shooting at.
So, but we're going to pull on this thread a little bit. Because when the infantry gets in trouble and they're in a bad spot, who do they call for support? The big guns, artillery people. Help! There's a lot of them. They're shooting at us. All right, we're coming. Hang on.
Oh, wait, you're in a city? Oh, we can shoot a loom. We can send light over your head so the enemy can see you better, but we can't fire artillery in a city because we're freaking useless. So we're going to go back to our air-conditioned tents and eat MREs.
Right?
And fart.
Smart you to do it. The MREs do cause you to do that.
Oh my
It's
God!
pretty
I have a
epic.
migraine right now. I need to relay this story. I have a migraine right now. We work together outside of just this, and he walked into my office today and let one go. It made me forget half my childhood. I don't know what he's the production assistant of his. I don't know what you're feeding him, but stop. Please stop. I like who I am, and I can't afford to forget. I've already got a bunch of TBI. I can't afford to forget much more of my personality. Just help me, help you, help me, okay? Thank you.
I'm enjoying this.
I'm sure you are. If you
This
let
is
one
my-
go in here, I will kill you.
This is my
in
favorite.
front of your production assistant. I will kill you.
She's used to it.
You being killed?
No, the smell.
Oh.
She's come to enjoy it. She's used to it.
You're-
She's even
I
getting.
have so much more respect for you than I even did at the start of this episode. Your stock went way up just now.
We should create like
Anyway,
this own.
America's Got Talent.
No, we're gonna stick with this because we
Okay.
need to create a whole other segment.
All right.
With just Jarhead smells segment, right?
Yes.
It'd be
Actually,
epic.
we talked about that, didn't we? I don't know. I forgot because you freaking gassed me out of my office. I'm going to create an entire segment, an entire show of just, it's going to be called Things Jarhead Farts Smell Like, and comment on it. Like, in fact, if you just want to make the comments on this episode, what I should put in that episode, please do so. That would help me out tremendously.
That just tells you how deadly the Marine Corps is, because not only do we need guns and artillery to go kill people, and which we do a lot better at than the Army does, but our smells alone. Pull string, go boom, in your office,
Pull string, go boom.
and he dies. You're welcome. Okay, AGT, America's Got Talent.
Wow.
It's back on the air. We're not big fans of TV. We don't like watching a lot of
Not a
TV
lot.
because a lot of it is pure garbage.
Most
They try to sell it with sex and nonsense out there. But AGT, they're bringing the small people in, right? The little people who got big dreams. I love it. I love watching it.
Absolutely.
Got a little humor to it. And there's a lot of people out there that deserve to be on the show, deserve to have their own shows. It's a good show.
A country of 300 million people like us, we've got a lot of really crazy talented people out there, and I like that it's not celebrities getting on there and tooting their own horns. It's
Right.
people you have never heard of and never would hear of, except for this venue, which allows them to shine and at least have the opportunity to showcase their talents.
And this is what we need. We want to see the Americans showcasing their talents. We want to see those guys succeeding, because when the celebrities get on the air and they say stuff like F you Trump, and then all the celebrities give it a standing ovation, that is not what we need. That is backwards. I don't care if
Yeah.
you support Trump, if you hate him, you don't do that.
No, and especially not on live television.
Yeah. And then you certainly don't get the guy a standing ovation.
No.
I wish we know
Those
whoever-
people, that kind of celebrity needs to go away in favor of people who have actual talent and humility and, the ability to, be a decent human being while showing off what they can do.
Agreed. We do not like that. We disapprove.
Correct.
I don't even know what that show was, but too many
The
celebrities
Academy
to
Awards
watch.
or something. Anyway,
Something nonsense. Celebrity nonsense again. All right. Wow, are we done?
I think we're done.
Nice. Okay. Platoon
All right.
dismissed.
Dismissed.
Semper Fi.
Next formation, same time next week.